So, what's on the docket for today, Sheriff? Well, yeah, I'll tell you what's on the docket. We got this here interview with Miss Destiny Payton. Destiny Payton of Love and Marriage Huntsville. She did an interview with BLAVITY, and you will be reading it, gal. Okay, it's BLAVITY Shadow and Act. Okay. All right, so let's get started. It's your girl Brand New, you guys, and honey, I am back in the building. Listen, we go get off into this interview with BLAVITY. So it says, Destiny Payton is back on Love and Marriage Huntsville. The Detroit native made her debut in season 2, and fans weren't immediately receptive. Initially, she was married and expecting her first baby, but just 3 weeks after giving birth to her son-in-law, her ex filed for divorce. She was reluctant to share what was happening with her divorce on camera. And for viewers, and even some co-stars, she came off as guarded and sometimes cold, but she said she was simply going through the motions, and having to deal with everything publicly made things more difficult. She thought she found love again in a man named Moses, who she said she was friends with for 15 years, but not too long ago after their breakup, she learned Moses was dating and quickly married her former producer from the show, Sonny. Both Moses and Sonny appear in the current season alongside Payton as viewers try to make sense of this love triangle and professional violation. In an interview with BLAVITY's Shadow and Act, Payton gave us a teaser of what's to come after the ordeal and dished on her long-standing issues with Melody Cherie. Payton also reflected on how she's still standing after all of the trauma. So BLAVITY says, congrats on being back on the show after a one-season hiatus. You've been doing your media rounds discussing how you didn't want people to be able to tell your story for you. We are definitely looking forward to seeing how the rest of the season plays out. Since the last time we saw you, your former producer, Sonny, is now an integral part of the cast. She's married to your ex, Moses, and she claims the two of you were never friends. What can you tell us about the extent of your former friendship before this transpired? Were you guys in communication? So Destiny says, we were in communication during the show, after the show, and long after she was let go from the show. So for me, I guess I have to acknowledge that there wasn't a friendship based on the things that have been shared by her and the things that have been said publicly. And I understand now that that's how manipulation works. You make one person feel as if you know your motives are something different than what they actually are. So BLAVITY says, we understand you want to tell your story, but at the same time, there are some people who feel like, why would she even put herself in this situation? Has it been uncomfortable for you during filming? Destiny says, so what I want to clear up is that I actually was asked back before the situation even hit the airwaves, and it was a struggle for me to even continue to come back or decide to come back. So the yes was already there, or the possibility was already there of me coming back before this drama. And then there were weeks, almost a month of conversation where I was like, yeah, that's not it. It's not what I want to do, and it is not what I want to be a part of. And then I found out that they were already filming and telling their stories while I was still negotiating. It was like, oh no, you're not allowed to come back and tell whatever y'all want to tell, and I can't speak my piece on it. It's been uncomfortable and it's not a favorable situation. It is what it is. I actually never would have talked to these people ever again if they didn't show up to my job. So honestly and truthfully, I didn't go to their city. They came to mine. BLAVITY says, "Will we see you have a conversation with Moses this season?" Destiny says, "You shall." BLAVITY says, "I know a lot of people think that closure is an imaginary thing, but do you feel like you have any closure from the situation at all?" Destiny says, "I had closure before they showed up on my job. I want people to understand that Destiny didn't say, 'Let me go talk to these people.' These people came to Huntsville to talk to me." And so let's put that out there, and let's be very clear about that. When Sunny said she texted me and I didn't respond, that's all I ever needed. That there's no need to respond. Had he not shown up here in my city, I would have never talked to him again. And as she said, there was no friendship. So what would be the need for me to talk to her, especially after that text message? BLAVITY says, "Do you feel you've had support from your co-stars this season?" Destiny says, "I can say for the most part, yes. And shockingly, I'm like, okay, they actually have my back and I love it because I've always been the singular cast member, so I appreciate it." So BLAVITY says, when we first met you on the show, you came in as a friend of Melody's. Destiny says Mel and Martell. Okay. Did y'all catch that shade? Okay. Okay, so Destiny says, no, BLAVITY says, I'm sorry, "Your friendship has gone south with Melody."
Absolutely. I just don't feel that Destiny is friendship material. I just don't feel it. I don't get it. I chose to, remove myself from that friendship. God told me to go, girl. Oh, Heifer, shut up. You ain't nobody friend. You ain't nobody. You ain't nothing but a trifling tramp. You need to pass the damn builder's license test, Heifer. Miss Marlene, I need for you to stay about my business. Absolutely. Stay up out of my business before you find yourself behind bars like your son. And you all can have a family reunion in prison. How about that? And then you won't be able to play those damn numbers that you like to play, Miss Marlene. And then you won't be chain smoking no more. How about that, Miss Marlene? Absolutely. Because I can make it happen.
Y'all know y'all content creator, honey, ain't got the sense that God gave her, honey. Okay, it was getting a little boring, a little stale. So Miss Robinson had to put some water on that shit. Okay, so we go get back. We go get back. Let me get back. Okay. All right, so your friendship has gone south with Melody. There seems to be a theme on the show that her friendships are not sustainable. Now, who said that? Okay, wasn't that Martell that said that, shiggity? Okay, y'all see how the smear campaign that he did on Melody, how it's really working and people is really, playing into it. Okay. Is there something that we're not seeing behind the scenes about why she has not been able to sustain these relationships with the cast? So this is very manipulative, right? Because just because she had a toxic, narcissistic ex that was cheating on her, that wanted her to feel comfortable with him having a side chick, and then he had a whole baby on her. She invited the nigga out of town. I would have never, y'all, come on now. Y'all know Miss Robinson would have never been that nice. As nice as Melody has been to Martell. Y'all already know. Okay, so it's like, it didn't work with Martell. Destiny is a one-sided friend. I could just tell. She hang out with Latifah, who copy and paste folks' ideas, personality traits for a living. Kimmy go wherever the wind blows. She's Team Scott. She's not objective anymore when it comes to Latifah. Okay. Marceau is a hater. He don't like strong single moms because that threatens being in a prison marriage to him. So Melody is a threat. Maurice sees Melody as a threat. I've literally used to hear people say this, and I would be like, no, I don't think that. I really tried to be objective, you guys, for the longest part, but as the seasons go on, you just see things. You see patterns of behavior from people. So I just feel like this was like shady, like towards Melody. Like it's not. And I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to present the situation where if you fall out with everybody, you must be the problem. I know that some of us sometimes, even myself, we may allude to that, but that's in certain situations, right? That may be the case. That is not the case on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Latifah is jealous of Melody. Latifah took Melody's marriage and tried to make it into Melody's identity. That's why she always say to Mel, you got a third soul, Mel, and Martell, he cheated on you and gave the third chick a BMW, and he had the baby. I told y'all, all of that is hate. Because ain't no way in hell, if you ever love somebody as a true friend, you would ever go that low. But Latifah living the gutter, honey. Okay, she resides on the first floor. Okay, so, child. But what do y'all think about this? Get in the comments, kind of let me know how you feeling about this, how this interview is set up, right, with them trying to say this about Melody. Let me know how you feel. Okay, so here go Destiny, right? 100%, and patterns don't lie. Let's not get on your damn patterns of you not being able to keep a steady job. You out here selling the damn lottery tickets, damn cash explosion tickets, you playing numbers all day. And I'm not here to hate on you. You're a single mom, make your money, boo-boo, okay? But Melody is successful. Okay, let's go check Melody's bank statements, and then let's look at yours. She a lot more stable than you. So I feel like, and don't get me wrong, Destiny is a very beautiful woman, very put together, but I ain't gonna lie, I was looking like, how the hell you got money for all these damn labels? Okay, I mean, I'm just saying, who bought all these damn, the Chanel and the Gucci and like, how do we have this much money for these labels? Maybe she already has certain stuff, I don't know, but am I by myself? So Destiny, you got a pattern too. That man divorced you after 3 weeks, okay? After 3 whole weeks. I have never heard of no shiggity like that after the baby is born, honey. Ooh, child. That damn La Barbecue, honey, is a savage. La Barbecue said, honey, I will barbecue you on that grill, gal. I will get you together, gal. Woo, child. La Barbecue, honey, he don't play. Okay. He be having her back and forth to the courts. Then you done got arrested several times. All this identity theft stuff, Destiny, the employees came out and said they didn't get their check from you. And I'm like, why the hell do you have employees? Shit, because where was the customers? Okay, like the customers to the employees, like the ratio, it just don't match up. Okay, it just don't make no sense. You didn't have no damn customers, but Donnie was more closed than open, so why the hell did you have employees in the first place? And you should have been a one-person shop. Like, you should have been in there by yourself, had your baby and your little thing. We done seen Melody take Sugar Mama to the office, and you know, like when she had just gave birth and stuff. Melody, you gotta give it to her. Melody be ready. You know, so like, when you say things like patterns don't lie, I hope that Melody get in her ass at that reunion and say, bitch, the patterns don't lie when it come to you. Okay? So, let's continue, guys. So, what would you attribute that to? So, Destiny says there's a lot of play on social media. There's a lot of play on the blogs. It's clearly coming from one side. So she blaming the mellometers, honey. And that's my opinion. I could be wrong, but for me, the only thing I can speak up on specifically is about our relationship and why it got to the place that it is. Because before, I was very confused. I'm going to say this, like I said, I think somewhere along the line, maybe Melody felt like Destiny wasn't her equal. I told y'all we sometimes end up in unequally yoked friendships and relationships. And I know I done been there where I was maybe with somebody, I began canceling on them and making plans elsewhere and just not really wanting to be bothered with them. You know, because that type of stuff is spiritual, right? Sometimes you don't feel like saying the exact reason of why you don't want to be the person friend, why you don't want to be with them. Sometimes you really don't know, fully what it is, but it's an energy, right, that you're getting from the person where what they are bringing to your life, it does not match what you've did for them. And I don't think her and Melody properly broke up. There probably wasn't any closure. All of these people seem to dispose of Destiny very quickly. So, you do, while we talk about patterns, we gotta look at that, right? Okay, guys, let's get back. So, she says, I could be wrong, but for me, the only thing I can speak up on specifically is about our relationship and why it got to the place that it is, because before I was very confused, but as I've spoken out about my domestic violence, see, why you throwing that up in there? We talking about Melody. Did she put her hands on you? Do you see how the things that she does, she strategically places her trauma in certain situations? You are being asked about Melody. So I'm pretty sure after this, you go follow up with, oh, my mother was on, she had an addiction. My father wasn't there. He's there now. And like, girl, stay on topic. Okay. So let me get back. And how I had to come to grips with that being my reality. Why you didn't come out with that? Like I told y'all, people that are like real, true victims. And don't get me wrong, there are situations, and I get it. It's hard for people to leave certain situations, and it's not that simple, right? For certain people. But you claim you got all this big D energy. Why didn't you report his ass to the police? I'm gonna tell you something. You got one motherfucking time to try me. One time. To have me arrested over some bullshiggity, and I'ma stay on your ass like white on rice. Okay? He think he over there frying chicken now. Shit. If La Barbecue would be messing with me like that, and I'm innocent, and I'm the victim, shit, I would feel sorry for him. Okay? I'm just saying. So it's like, why we hear about this shit later on? But because you kept trying to protect somebody that's not protecting you. And I told y'all, there's not a prize, ladies, that you are gonna get when you do that. Don't do that. Well, my son, this ain't about your son. That's what his daddy is doing to you. So you go allow somebody to do that? Keep having you arrested? And this type of stuff, it messes with your reputation. This can mess up business deals. People not trusting you. People thinking that you're a fraud. You're phony. And, you're always on the run. Like, girl. So one of the things that was said in public by mail was that I knew one side of the story and now I know the truth. And I'm in support of the other party. So for me, it was like, how do you go from supporting a woman, being there for her through those times that she never even discussed publicly, to publicly saying, now I know the truth. So for me, it's kind of hard to bounce back from that. That was not a good answer to that question, because you brought up a whole, and whenever people deflect like that and be bringing shiggity up, but they ain't got nothing to do with nothing, it's just like, girl, they just trying to keep you distracted. Okay? So BLAVITY asks her, now outside of your relationships with your cast members, one of the things that I love was your journey with your beauty supply store that has since closed. What would you say were the challenges that we did not see with running a brick and mortar? So Destiny says, well, first, I would like to say I'm grateful to be the first African American owned beauty supply store in Alabama and in Huntsville. That wasn't an easy feat at all, but running a brick and mortar and being an entrepreneur, it is just not easy. I really feel like people sometimes embellish how successful they are in business. Ooh, is she talking about Mel? But the reality of it is, if you're an entrepreneur and you've gotten to any level of success, you have failed. That's true. There's no way that you didn't have any failures, because that's how you learn and how you get better.
Absolutely.
So for me, I'm grateful for the experience. I'm grateful for what I've learned. And a lot of things that you didn't see was just the behind the scenes of what it's like to run a business, what it's like to also be on television, but what it's also like to have to manage and co-manage people. When did you go bring up that you gave the employees their money back? Sometimes they have ulterior motives. And also going through everything that I was going through in my personal life with a divorce, going through COVID 14 days after I opened my brick and mortar, being pregnant at that time, having a high risk pregnancy, and my dad getting cancer shortly after. It was just a lot of ups and downs. And so the energy that I really needed to focus on making that business successful was spread out. And I'm just grateful that I'm still in my right mind. So BLAVITY asks her, social media plays a huge role in this show. I feel like we find out more online than from the actual show. You could say that again. A lot of people are starting to say that the show has just become extremely toxic. What's your take on that? So Destiny says, I think that when a group of people are radicalized and there is no control, then yes, you can also take a stance. And when there's no stance taking, or you are using those people to kind of like riot for you, Melody, it makes it a different world. And I feel like that's why I really believe in mental health. And I do mental Mondays with my therapist and life coach. I think people are triggered by a lot of things that are happening in the show, and they cling to certain people in certain situations because that's their own experiences that they haven't healed from. And so they go into these comments, or they start attacking your business, or they start attacking your personal life. And it's because they can't see this isn't a soap opera. It's like bits and pieces of real life. Overall, would you say that you want us to take away from your story this season? I would say overall that number one, I'm a human being. I go through all types of ebbs and flows of emotions in life. I'm resilient. I'm unbreakable. I'm still here. I'm still here. I love that song, honey, by Tisha Campbell. Okay, I'm still standing, and after all of the things that I've been through, and now a new betrayal, and God has kept me, and I'm not bitter. I'm not jaded. I still want people to see my heart. All right, you guys, that's all I have to say about all of that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am your girl, Brand New, and I will check you guys out in the next video.